Hi everyone, I'm in Paris, and this is another episode of Mercredi du Mercredi. Paris is easily one of my favorite cities in all of the world. It's just beautiful everywhere you look. There's beauty in the streets, there's beauty in the people, there's beauty in the food, in the architecture, in the language, in the fashion. It's utterly inspiring. One of the things I noticed while I was there was that comics weren't just looked upon as a disposable pop culture medium for kids, but they were advertised and celebrated in public, big advertisements with the artist's name and the book names clearly shown. So one of my main goals while I was there was to find and explore as many comic book stores as I could. The first shop I came across was Aaapoum Comics near Notre Dame, actually. And when I first walked in, it was really impressive. All the usual floppies there, those were all in English, actually, the ones I'm showing you right there. So it felt very much like an American comic book store. However, the organization in this store was really incredible. And this was the case pretty much with all the stores that I found. Look at all those Batman stories. I mean, each series, it was all very uniform and looked beautiful on the shelf. I wanted to buy them all. Look, there's a copy of Mobius's 40 Days in the Desert, which I have a flip-through video of. This is the beginning of their Bande Dessinée graphic novel section, and it was just so many books and overwhelming on all the shelves. That's how it was in every store. So I walked a little bit down the street and ran across this store, which was also called Aaapoum, but this was the Bande Dessinée branch. And this whole entire store was just for French graphic novels. Look and see how much Tintin and Asterix are in each one of these stores. There's the Arzac that I reviewed in one of my episodes. I couldn't believe they had a whole other store that was just as good. This next store is called Pulp's Comics, and it was just a few steps away from the two Aaapoum stores. This store focused a lot on American comics. They had nice artist editions on the wall and a section on Frank Cho and J. Scott Campbell. Surprise, surprise, next door was Pulp's BD, which focused on Bande Dessinée and manga. So they also had a second store. So many of these awnings on this street were comic book stores, if you can believe that. This was inside the Pulp's BD manga branch. There's that Arzac book again. I'm not sure how big the audience is for manga in France is, but it seemed pretty huge. Similar to America. Maybe it's more popular here in America, but it has a huge presence there. Look at these shelves and shelves. These are all manga titles here, translated into French. These next stores, again on the same block, were pretty cool. I'm not even trying to pronounce those names, but they were much smaller and a lot more niche, if you can believe. They had a lot of back issues, but like old, not floppies, old back issue graphic novels. The space were really, really tiny. Here's another one. Like almost like one tiny little room you can see. It was hard for me to film in there. I felt kind of uncomfortable. I was like tripping over people and I felt really bad. This next store is in the neighborhood that's near the Modern Museum called the Pompidou, and it's called Book Off. And it's actually a used bookstore. This was a gem of a store to find. They had a whole section of used graphic novels that were dirt cheap, like as low as €2. So needless to say, I got a lot there. This store is Canal BD, and it's part of, from what I can tell, a bigger conglomerate of BD stores. They had floor-to-ceiling shelves packed with books, and they had these ladders that you could hook up on the rails to climb up to the top and see the sections. The amazing thing about this store was it just showcased how many different genres BD covers. It's very similar to manga, where it's not just about superheroes, it's about anything. Here's a comic right here about Freud, which was right next to a comic about Quentin Tarantino. Like, it was crazy. I went to this store maybe 4 times while I was there. And on my second visit, I think, is when I discovered they had a basement level. So I walked down this basement level, and they had a whole nother floor focused on American comics and manga and original art. This is really cool to see up on the walls. I'm assuming these are French artists. Needless to say, I really love this store. I got to know the owners a little bit. They recognized me because I came in so much and I was climbing up and down the ladders. They kept asking me if I was looking for anything specific, and I just kept saying, no, I'm just looking. But they were really nice and very patient. These are really cool. These were digest versions of some flagship titles for DC. I had read somewhere that they're going to do a similar format here in America. So it'll be interesting to see how those are received. So I'm back, and I got a few books. I can't go through all those books on here. I would make my already long videos 10 times longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try something new, and tomorrow I'm planning on live streaming and going through all these books, maybe live streaming for about an hour and just flipping through these books. And anybody who shows up in the chat, I would be happy to talk with you and just discuss the books that I'm going to go through. So I thought that would be a cool way for me to try live streaming out, and also just give a chance to share what I found, because I found a lot of very, very, very cool books that I'm pretty excited to share. So yeah, I'd love it for you to join. Make sure you like and subscribe, definitely, so you get the notification. You can also follow me on X, Twitter. I will update there if anything derails me. But so what I'm planning is 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to shoot for that hour and see how that goes. Fingers crossed that I can get all the technical stuff working. But yeah, 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, Friday, and we'll see how it goes. Hope to see you there. Make sure you subscribe. Tell all your crazy Francophile BD fans that it's happening. And I will see you guys live tomorrow.